Bit more analysis now. We can speak to our international affairs editor, Armen, Georgian. Armen, help us understand a bit more about the underlying causes for this unrest.
Well, this situation, Tom, has been variously described as a tinderbox, a powder keg, or a time bomb. It's true that the pandemic has made things worse, as you alluded to in your introduction. This is arguably the worst version of the coronavirus pandemic on the African continent. And that, of course, has further driven up joblessness, caused businesses to close and so forth. But the problems were, of course, there even before the pandemic, the poverty, the inequality, and a sense that a lot of people have not benefited from the economic opportunities that came after the end of apartheid. And so it's very difficult for officials and for the government to be effective when they tried to appeal to a sense of civic responsibility, which is what the South African president is now doing when he says, however much you're hurting, however angry you are, nothing can justify this kind of violence. It's very hard to be effective, to have an impact when there's such a lack of an overall sense of civic inclusion, if you will.
And there have been suggestions that there's an ethnic dimension to this unrest. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, this is something that the South African president, again, has talked about. He says it's a matter of concern to all South Africans that some of these acts of violence are based on ethnic mobilization. What he's referring to is what he sees as attempts by some of Jacob Zuma's allies to stir up Zulu nationalist anger about the jailing of Zuma. And it's true that some of the videos that you can see, there does seem to be a slightly nationalistic tinge to some of the comments being made about why people are doing this and invoking Zuma's name. But it's hard to say how many people really are driven by that and how many are just using it as an excuse. How many of them are simply saying free Zuma, but actually what they're really simply interested in perhaps is stealing things and looting.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for bringing us up to speed. Armen, Georgian, our international affairs editor. Thank you.